Hey guys, Gordon here, Cockerpunk. This video is a response to Mike Phillips's video about first off PB Nation being sold and problems with paintball and how exactly we can solve them. I think I don't really have much to say on the PB Nation being sold thing. I think Mike pretty much covered it. Big paycheck, bread wrecker, crowd gathers, kind of a bizarre company with. We'll see how their future is. But moving on to what I think is the meat and potatoes of that video, and I think Mike is right in a lot of ways that ramping is a problem in paintball. Ramping and full auto and those sorts of things. Because, I mean, he's right. Nobody likes to get stitched up. I'm freaking been playing for 10 years, and I still hate it when I get hit more than about 5 times. It hurts. I mean, everybody knows it does. It's not fun when you get just getting shot up all day, and I think that is part of the problem. But I also think ramping in general is a symptom of a bigger problem, which is something that I see a lot of in life, which is what it takes to be good at something, what it takes to win at something, what it takes to dominate at whatever skill. The other thing I'm thinking about, just because my other hobby is car racing, just what it takes to be really good at something almost takes the fun out of it. Like what it takes to win a paintball game, a paintball tournament at a high level, it takes a lot of the fun out of it, because what do you do when you're, say, down in numbers on a game? You don't go running down the field and pulling off crazy moves very often. Most people who do that, it doesn't work, and then they get punished and their team loses, and it's a big deal. Then nobody's having any fun at all. So what you do most of the time when you're down in numbers is you cross it up, and you wait for the other team to do something stupid. And then you punish them for it by whittling down the numbers, and then you go back on the offensive and you win your game. But it turns out that that isn't as much fun. You know, crossing it up and just watching one lane and watching people try and run through it, and then you shoot them, and then, oh, yay, that was fun, or something like that. I think paintball is one of those games that it really, what it takes to succeed at a very high level in paintball, it takes a lot of the fun out of it, because a lot of the fun in paintball, just like a lot of the fun in car driving and a lot of the fun in most things in life, is when things go wrong and things get a little crazy, and trying to spinning out cars or doing stupid things in paintball with your friends in your backyard. But I don't mean that by like shooting animals or shooting each other without masks on or something. I mean that in like you pulled off some crazy move that no one thought you could, and that's a lot of fun. It makes a better story when you're, it's cool when you win a 2-on-4 or something like that, or a 1-on-3 or something like that, and the story goes, I shot the guy in the snake, and then I turned and I shot the guy who was bumping up in the Dorito side, and then it was a 1-on-1 and I just snapshot the guy out. Yeah, that's kind of a cool story, but what makes a way better story is the off the break, I ran as fast as I could with my flatline on my Tippmann 98 sideways, and I tried to bunker a guy off the break, but my safety was on. I know a guy who did that, and it was hilarious, and I remember it to this day. That was at least 8 years ago, and if Ben Rockney is watching this, you know who you are. That is still one of the funniest things I've ever seen in paintball, and it's because he wasn't playing with proper form, and he wasn't, a lot of the fun things in paintball is just doing fun stuff and crazy stuff and seeing what happens. And that isn't conducive to winning a large number of events. That's just, teams aren't, that's not how tournaments play. That's not how events play out. That's not how you win a scenario game either. You don't win it by doing something crazy. You win it by good freaking paintball. So, I see this a lot in a lot of aspects of life, is that just perfection, chasing perfection, can lose the fun in something. And that's a big reason why I like, old school guns and pump play and stuff like that, because um, it demands a high level of skill to win, but it retains a lot of the fun at the same time. So that's why I really enjoy the classic markers and the pump guns, because I think it gives me the best of both worlds in that respect. Um, I don't mean this to disrespect any tournament players. I'm a tournament player myself. I just won a tournament 2 weeks ago, and it was a lot of fun. We had a great time. But when you try and push the game too seriously, and you start losing the fun, that's when you start losing players. Um, I don't know if this is true of anybody else, but I've seen it here locally big time. I call it the 2-year tournament player life cycle. Kids get involved in tournament paintball. They maybe played like 2 or 3 times in the woods, and then they get some speedball in them, and they go nuts. And they buy a whole bunch of speedball gear. They're on a tournament team within about 6 months, a pretty decent one. They play competitively for about a year and get really quite good. Better than me in less than a year. They get good fast, and then they burn out quick. And in about, so they take 6 months to get on a team, and then a year of solid play that's like really, really good play, and then they just burn out after, and it takes them maybe 6 months or so to burn out after that, and then they're gone, and I don't see them again. I've been playing long enough that I've seen generations of tournament players go through the same thing, 2-year life cycle. And I think that is a large product of these kids. They take it so seriously, and they get so good so fast, and they start winning, and they love winning, and then eventually they end up hitting a wall where they can't afford to play at any higher level, and then they just stop playing, or they run out of money, either or. And instead, I think we need to introduce, have some fun with it, and get back to really what we all enjoy in paintball. Everybody remembers their first paintball game. You didn't know jack shit about paintball, but it's probably one of the most fun games you've ever played in your whole life. We need to get back to that feeling in a lot of ways. And we just need to remember, even us tournament players, just need to remember every once in a while, just go out and just play for fun, and teach some noobs some concepts and some ideas of how to play, and just go out and have a good time. Now, I'm not saying that you got to go do this in the woods. You don't. You can go mess around on a speedball field and do stupid shit too. It's really fun. You can. The type of field doesn't matter. It's the mentality, and the mentality is to take it a little bit less seriously, play a little light, and make some jokes out of it, then try and do crazy things. And I really think that pump play and old school guns really lends itself well to maintaining a high talent level, and skill level, but making sure you don't burn out. My rule is I'll play anything, and I really will. I'll play stock class in an X-ball game, and I'll play with a carnivore out in the woods. It's happened on both accounts. I'll play anything. I'll play with anybody, but I think that mentality is lacking in paintball, and I think that's really hurting us. That people are too narrow-minded and focused on getting good at just playing speedball, just playing tournaments with just the people they play with, instead of embracing the sport as a whole and just willing to play anything and have a good time doing it. Just get out there and play, and sometimes let your hair down, and who cares if the guy next to you can't snap shoot? Whatever, he's on your team. Try and prompt him towards the best, but it's I see this a lot in a lot of other things in life, where you get to a level where you're so good at something that it no longer really becomes fun. And it happens. So with that in mind, like I said, I think I already mentioned a few solutions to this, which is when you feel a burnout coming, relax, go play for fun, go to a pump day or something like that, and go let your hair down, go crawl around in the mud and the bugs and stuff out in the woods, or just play with some noobs out. Grab a rental and go out and play with some new players and try and get the fun back in the game. And I think ramping is kind of a byproduct of this because ramping allows you to stop focusing on shooting your gun fast and on all these other things that you should have been thinking about instead of shooting your gun fast. So I think ramping is a symptom, if you will, of an overarching problem, which is that to be good at a lot of things in this world, and including paintball, it ceases to be about having fun, and it starts to be about doing the fastest and the best and the everything. And that's fine. Like I said, I'm a tournament player. I've won them before, and you win them by doing the hard work. That isn't necessarily very much fun. But there's a balance that needs to be struck there in paintball, and I don't see that balance in a lot of other players right now.